Hello, and welcome to the Smut Show,
a weekly podcast from your new internet book besties.
We discuss all things spicy books and mix in a little bit of motherhood, life, self-care, and everything in between.
So sit back,
grab a beverage,
and let's chat.
Hello, and welcome to the Smut Show. I'm Neely.
And I'm Rachel, and we have a really fun guest today, okay? We have Elizabeth Stevens, who writes romance of the sci-fi, paranormal, and suspenseful varieties, which I'm interrupting the intro, so sorry. I'm very excited about this because we don't often have, this is my genre, okay? This is what I love. We don't often have my genre on here, so I'm very excited. Her favorite trope is enemies to lovers, and she loves to world build so much that she sometimes gets lost in places that don't exist. She's a USA Today bestseller, and you can see her books listed among Amazon's bestsellers in their categories.
Her favorite pieces of fan mail are from BIPOC, women expressing surprise and gratitude that they found an author who looks like them and writes books that make them feel included when she isn't tip-tap typing, which, y'all, I had to read that slow. Away. You might find her getting her hands dirty on a pottery wheel. Oh, I love that. Traveling as much as she can or learning a new language. Also, we just learned she has a 7-week-old itty bitty baby at home.
Yeah.
So she's truly doing it all, guys.
Busy.
She is booked and busy. Okay?
Booked and busy.
So thank you for making the time for us, because 7-week-old baby, I'd be like, I wish I could, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I know. I've had to cancel a lot of stuff that I hadn't wanted to.
You know what?
Doable.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Time is precious.
Yes.
Well, Elizabeth, welcome. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm super excited to chat to y'all. And thanks so much for reading my crazy books.
Yeah.
Well, we always start with ones and fives, like our 5-star high, our 1-star low of the week. So that's just how we start every episode. Should I go first?
Yeah, you go first, and we can think about ours while you're going.
I would be remiss to not say that my 5-star moment. What I should say my 5-star moment
you have a time limit, Neely.
Is that my kids started school this week. Okay, that should be my 5-star moment. My 5-star moment, actually, in reality, is that Taylor Swift didn't make us clown too hard this time. And
she really didn't.
Guys, I didn't know what was happening. I woke up, was it Tuesday? I don't even know. It was the morning of the first day of school. There was like something, there's going to be an announcement. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I've got things to do. This was Monday. Then Tuesday, I woke up at 4 to go to bar. And I opened my phone to like 300 text messages from people because I had gone to sleep at 9 p.m. Mm-hmm. So I was like, Taylor, your girl is a millennial, an elder millennial at that. Yeah. 12 a.m., I don't do that anymore.
No.
You can't announce things in the middle of the night. My body doesn't work that way. And so I was like, oh shit, she really is coming out with a new album and she's going to be on Travis's podcast. And I was like, first day of school, who is she? And so then she didn't make us even wait much longer because she announced the title of the album, Death of a Showgirl. We love that.
Life of a Showgirl.
What?
Very different. Very different
album. Life of a Showgirl. Guys,
Death of a Showgirl.
I said it out loud and then I was like, that would also be a cool album title, Taylor.
It would be.
If you need a follow-up, I got you. So anyway, Life of a Showgirl. She says it's only 12 tracks. I don't believe her. I feel like we're gonna get, but she says like her thing is like she releases the album and then like 2 or 3 hours later she releases like essentially another album, because like
I cannot follow along. Elizabeth, I am not. We fuck around with some Taylor Swift music, but I am like. This is so much lore to follow, and I don't have time to follow this much lore. Okay,
she is like the person who like I'm like the person who has watched 21 whatever seasons of Grey's Anatomy, and Rachel's like, I catch it here and there. That is how we are about Taylor Swift, except I don't watch Grey's Anatomy.
And I, despite living in Seattle, have never seen one single episode of Grey's Anatomy. So again,
let me tell you what you're not missing. Okay. I watched religiously for like 10 years and then I stopped. And it has since gone on for another 11 years. And I'm like, I fear we have jumped the shark multiple times and we need to stop.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that TV shows should never be more than 5 seasons.
I think that's
I feel like
strong
You can get a solid, wonderful TV show in 5 seasons. Anything longer than that, you start to lose things. And
that's fair.
I think 3 to 5 is like the sweet spot of a lifespan of a TV show. But anyways, I digress. I watched 1 hour and 15 minutes of her interview with her boyfriend and his brother last night. And it did things to my body.
Yeah.
That I
what's your favorite part so far?
You're making me pick one. Just all encompassing the way he looks at her.
It's so cute. Yeah,
that's very
cute. I'm watching somebody just love her like that. I'm like, I don't even know her. I feel like I do, but I'm like, he just like loves her. Like you can tell that he just is obsessed with her. And I feel like it's what we read about. I feel like watching them together is like why we read books.
Yeah. I mean, want a man obsessed.
A pretty good trope, you know, like movie star meets or singer meets
football
player. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. We love it.
My 1 star is that my daughter started kindergarten this week, and that's great. The 1 star is that emotionally, I think kindergarten has done her in. She had been going to full-time school for the last 2 years before it, like 5 days a week, 8 to 3 school. And so I really didn't think that it would be like much of an adjustment as far as getting used to that schedule. And girl looks like she's been through shit when I pick her up. She's like, looks just rough.
She's like, I've seen things, Mom.
She's tired. She sounds like a drunk girl in a bar bathroom. I'm like, did you make any friends? She's like, I made a lot of friends. I don't know their names. And it literally was giving drunk girl in a bar bathroom.
That's so true. I love it.
I was like, baby, you good? But the 5-star to that 1-star is the amount of snuggles I've gotten the last few days. Because all she wants to do when she gets home is physically fuse herself to me and not let go. And I'm not mad about it.
And that doesn't happen anymore. So
in my house it did. Both my kids would crawl back inside me if given the option.
Oh, well, that must be nice.
Charlotte now in the morning,
I don't know that bar,
when I'm working out, goes and gets in bed with Andrew and won't snuggle with him and is like, I'm waiting for mommy.
She's like, not you.
All right, what about you, Rachel?
Okay, my 1-star, I'll start at my 1-star. My 1-star is first day of school, dropped the kids off. That was great. Immediately had to go to the dentist. Like, you know, I try to keep up with my oral hygiene, okay? Like, I go to my dentist appointments every 6 months. I'm really good. I haven't had a cavity since I was like 18. Like, I've been good. And then I walk in and on Tuesday morning and they're like, oh, you've got a cavity. We're going to fill it now. So I had to get a filling. And I was like, I honestly don't remember what happens in this scenario because it's been so long since I've done it. I was like, am I going to be allowed to drive myself home? Like, what's happening? Spoiler alert, you can. It's a very low-key procedure. They're like, you're gonna be fine.
It's like a C-section, really. She's like, will I be able to function? Can I eat
I was
food
like,
afterwards?
last time I had major surgery, I was in the hospital for many days. I don't know where we're at here. And so, they filled it.
I had major surgery.
They did a great job. But then for the rest of the day, my face was numb,
like
and
this,
I was like slurring my words, and I had to go straight to a meeting after because I was not planning on having dental work done.
Had like a facial seizure, because,
and I was talking to the people in my meeting, and I was like, please know that I just had a cavity filled, and I am not drunk at 10:30 a.m. Like, I'm so sorry.
No judgment.
A little bit of judgment. So yeah, that was my 1-star. And then my 5-star is that I have like one kid that's not clingy and one that's a little bit clingy, but as she's getting older, she's not so much anymore. But Emmy, my first grader, she started letting me do her hair in the morning. And so I am like,
I saw that on here. Did she not?
No, before it was like I could maybe do like pigtails or like a ponytail or something, but that was really it. She wouldn't sit longer.
I need to send you. I am on little girl hair TikTok.
Oh my gosh, please send me some ideas.
The amount.
And now a lot of them I am not good at hair. A lot of them I'm like, this is very complicated. I have to show her a bunch of pictures, and then I'm like, you can pick from like these 3.
I bought. Do y'all remember Topsy Tails? The thing, it's like the long stick with the loop, and you put the ponytail through the loop, and I bought a pack of. We've gotten real. Listen,
Oh,
We don't fuck around with
okay.
morning school hair here. Okay, we're doing braids. We're doing topsy tail.
I can't French
power
braid,
ponies.
so I'm like.
Oh, I learned how to French braid when I had Charlotte. I had to teach myself.
I guess I gotta do that.
I like try to French braid my daughter's hair, but trying to get a 2.5-year-old to like keep their head in the same direction.
So my tip for that is a screen. And my tip for learning hairstyles easily is TikTok, because people dumb it real far down to you. And like, I can't like look at picture tutorial. I need a video that I can pause. I've done this step.
Now the next one. Well, for the first 3 days of school, her hair has been very cute. So I was very proud of myself for that, because I am not, though I love being a girl mom, I don't think that I'm like overly girly. I'm a little bit girly, but I'm not a hair girly. So I was very excited to be able to do this with her. So that's my 5-star. Elizabeth, what about you? Give us some 1s and 5s.
Well, my 5-star was that I was delusional and thought it was a really good idea to sign on to do an in-person event with like a 6-week-old baby. And so I did a romance bookstore day event on this past Sunday in Yakima at the Yakima Book Company. And the owner there is amazing. And it felt just like a crazy full circle moment, because I was like, Katie Robert has hyped up so many like of my books, specifically Dark City Omega, which they absolutely love, and basically hand sold all the copies of Dark City Omega on my table. But it was pretty wild just sitting next to them in like a little room, just the two of us signing books was totally crazy.
That's amazing
and really awesome, and I had a really great time. And additionally, because we did like a whole family thing, so my husband and my kids and my parents also came, because we were doing Mount Rainier after.
Sweet.
And my parents stepped in and they were like, "You're really thinking about like holding a baby the whole signing?" Because there was like a big line outside and like kind of a crush of people in the very beginning. And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Girl, you crazy." And so they took my baby for me, and kept him happy for like an entire hour, which was, I have a stage 5 clinger baby, so I wasn't expecting it to go that well.
So what a relief.
Yeah, could not have gone. It went as good as it possibly could have gone the entire event. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, only a little bit crazy. I think the one was also on that trip. I have a 2.5-year-old, almost 3. And so every day there's kind of like a crashing 1-star moment. I think probably the lowest 1-star moment was, speaking of doing hair, she wanted a long braid. Keep in mind, this girl has like short hair. She literally just had her first haircut after almost 3 years yesterday. And I French braided her hair in the way that she wanted. And then she had a full temper tantrum meltdown because her braid wasn't longer, like Anna from Frozen.
Oh yes, no, we've had that.
Yes.
For the same reason.
That was great. Yeah, I loved that for me.
The logic these 3-year-olds,
a toddler that hair has to grow is like not.
No. She's like, I want it now.
Yeah.
Not when it's grown.
Right.
Yeah. We just pulled it out the other day. The like headband on a braid, or Elsa braid. Did y'all ever have? No,
I won't buy that.
I just don't want to get her one. I like find it kind of creepy.
It is pretty creepy. It was a grandparent. It was a grandparent thing, but my oldest still does not have very much hair, and so she was the same way. She wanted, like when she was little, she wanted the braids, and I was like, "Girl, you just don't have very much hair for me to braid." My youngest has so much hair, but my oldest didn't, and so that came with a costume. I'm pretty sure it came with like the full get up, and she would wear it all the time because she wanted the long braid.
Hair? Haven't I seen Brian?
Yeah, Brian. My husband will braid their hair. He's a better braider than me. But he also went to theater school, so he had like a whole class on like hair and makeup. So I'm like, that's rude. I didn't have that.
Like, my husband doesn't even know how to do a ponytail, and it's like,
my husband had to learn real quick, because if I'm not home, he has to braid her hair at night.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how to teach someone how to do a ponytail. Like, it's like one
It's
of those
hard.
skills that feels so
Yes.
like breathing. I'm like, how do you
Yes.
describe
I
the
was just trying to teach my 6-year-old how to do, because she wanted to learn how to do a ponytail. And I was
Right.
like, let me try and teach you. And as soon as I started, I was like, I cannot teach this skill. This is a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
hand
hard. And
movements
also like doing
happening.
it on your own hair, you're like, okay, well, yeah,
Yeah. A whole
it's a lot.
mess. Yeah. Okay, we're going to hop into recent reads. What's a recent read that we've loved, or recent's relative? It could also be something that you've watched recently. Neely, do you have something that you
I
have
started
read?
a new book. I started The Best Worst Thing by Lauren Oakey. We're having her on the podcast, but you can't read this book. Like you can't.
Is it sad? Is it devastating?
I mean, like there's both happy and sad, but the sad is like cheating and then infertility, and I just don't think you would want to read it.
Yeah.
It's not out yet, but that stuff happens like early.
Okay.
So I'm not like spoiling it. That's not like the ending of the book. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I would hope to have been done, but Taylor.
I know. It's just taken over everything.
I think it's that the Taylor related TikToks are what has taken over my life, because I cannot. And you know what time of year it is that I'm not even participating in is Alabama Rush.
Maybe we love it.
Right. Well, she just brought her baby on, so now I'm going to just be distracted by this freaking like, precious baby.
Yeah, he's like, you put me in my nice little area, so I've clearly been abandoned. So
yes,
abandoned.
You provided for me, so how dare you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am. Hopefully, the next time we record, I will no longer be reading this series, because it's been my currently reading for ever. But I'm still reading the Plated Prisoner series. I'm in the middle. I'm more than halfway through the last book, so I'll be done soon. And then I also just started All Superheroes Need PR, and I'm loving it so far. So that is what I am reading. Elizabeth, what are you reading, watching? Anything that's
finished? A couple. I have been in like pregnancy long book slump. I just like can't read while pregnant. It's so hard.
I had the same issue. I had like pregnancy ADHD.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like,
I
couldn't focus
read
on
like
stuff.
10 pages of a book and then put it down and immediately forget that I even started that book.
And then, what it was about.
Yeah, and what it was about. Like I've restarted Stumped like 6 or 7 times by Anna P. And it's so good. Every time I'm like, oh yeah, no wonder I like
You're like, what did I read
really
this for? She's having, what's that movie? It's like, is it 50 First Dates?
Yes.
Exactly. It's like 50 First Dates, but reading. You're like, vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
Exactly. But no, I actually finished Not Safe for Work by Nietzsche J. Tully, and I loved it.
That's
it's
on my list
good.
Too.
And I also finished S.J. Tilly had a book come out recently. And I read the first. I hadn't read the first one in the series, so I thought I'd start there. And I actually really like that one too. I think it's called Mountain Boss. It was really fun. Set in the Pacific Northwest. It's just like, it's so annoying because I'm like really excited about a contemporary romance idea that I have right now that's like set in the Pacific Northwest and like in the wilderness and the trees and stuff. And I'm like out here like thinking it's all original because the only book I've read like in that setting recently, or even maybe ever, was All Roads Lead Here by Mariana, which I love. And then it's like literally as soon as I like finish up my first chapter, I was like just perusing the internet, and TikTok is like, here, try this one.
Isn't that how it goes?
I was just telling Rachel that like my problem is that I get on TikTok and then 5 hours have passed. And I'm like, I don't even know what I just did with my life.
Right.
So
I feel like that happens to me though, Elizabeth, where I'm like, okay, I have this idea, and then immediately I see 8 people that have just done something very similar, and I'm like, well, I'm just kidding.
I know. I read a little bit of someone's book the other day, or yesterday. Kenya Gory Bell let me preview a little bit of a fantasy book she's writing, which is really fun. but I was like, oh, I should send her this book by Milana Jax. It kind of reminds me of it. And I'm like, girl, don't do that. That's
Don't
just
do
going
that.
to piss somebody off. Yeah.
She's going to be like, no,
Like,
I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Ready to divide? No, we're not dividing.
I
Ready
love
to
multiply.
Yeah. Ready to dive into our interview.
So Elizabeth,
go Neely. I'm ready for you.
Elizabeth, we start every interview with tell us a little bit about your villain origin story, essentially just like how you ended up doing what you do.
Yeah, it's actually like a concise story because it all started from this like one central sentinel moment where I wanted an American Girl doll, and my mom
as every story starts.
Every story starts.
Yeah.
As every millennial.
Yes.
It all leads back to the American Girl dolls.
And my mom was like, well, in order to get the doll, you have to read all of the books in the series. And so I read all those like depressing Great Depression books.
Yes.
And I got that little blonde.
I mean, so appropriate for small children.
Yes.
But then I was like, all these dolls are like hella white. And I really wanted a doll that looked kind of like me. And the only ones that they had were like the build your own, because apparently they couldn't find one other doll, child of color that could exist in a time.
Only white children existed.
In American history, apparently.
In American history.
Yeah.
And so my mom was like, well, there's no book, so you have to write your own little book. And I ended up writing like this little like 70-page sci-fi. It's actually kind of a sci-fi romance, but like as like one would write it as like an 11-year-old. There was like
I'm obsessed with this.
Yeah. A boy that the 11-year-old had a crush on, or the 10-year-old. I don't even remember how old I was. And so then I wrote part of this book on this like a giant Microsoft Word like box, Microsoft Windows like box east of a computer, and I got my doll, and then I just have kept writing ever since.
I love that story so much. She's like, first of all, your mom, what a queen. She's like, you have to write the story then.
Yeah,
I
my
love
mom
that.
is still, she's my assistant at all of my events. Definitely my biggest fan.
I am obsessed with that. Okay, so even as a 10 and 11-year-old, you were already writing like sci-fi paranormal. What drew you to that? Why do you feel like that's kind of what the kind of story you enjoy telling?
American history is hella boring.
She's like, I shouldn't make it up.
Historical romance was out. No. I don't really know, actually. I just was always kind of like a fan of the like weird stuff, but I definitely read Anne Rice way earlier, like way younger.
Oh my god, I read Interview with a Vampire when I was so young, and maybe that is why I don't like scary things now. We can trace it back to me.
I like scary things.
Yeah, so we had two paths that could happen, and here we are.
Exactly. And then a couple other books. It was like Abarat by Clive Barker, which also is like not a book that really children should read, even though it's his like the closest he gets to children's books. But I mean, he's the guy that did like Hellraiser, like with the pinhead weirdos, if you're a horror fan. But
no.
Yeah, him writing a children's book is interesting. And so then like I think that my path kind of follows like a lot of people's then, because then I read like Twilight when that came out.
Yeah.
And that was kind of
there's
like
a direct pathway.
Gateway drug into
100%.
I cannot tell you how many times we've interviewed authors, and that has been like the catalyst.
It introduced me. It wasn't that it was like Twilight opened the door into J.R. Ward for me somehow, because I was like, somehow that came up as like a comp somewhere, and I'm like, not even close. The only thing that has similar is the vampires. Like,
they were like, you just need vampires, so here you go.
Yeah, and a romance, I guess, but they are very different genres of romance. And J.R. Ward's series, that series like really was kind of the first one that was like spicy romance I'd ever read, and I was like, oh, this is what I've been trying to write for years, but I like haven't had the courage, or like didn't even know that this was a genre, let alone that like highest grossing genre.
Yes.
And so I downhill from there.
What a great downhill though.
Yeah.
What a way to go. What has been your favorite part of your writing journey? So you published, I think I saw you published your first book in 2021. Is that right?
I actually published my first book in 2015.
Okay,
But
I got wrong information.
Yeah, no, it's like it's when I was like hobby publishing, which isn't really a thing, I think, because it's like a pretty labor intensive hobby. I mean, I guess a lot of hobbies are, but it's just, yeah, it's and I published Population then, a book called Population. With an indie press, and did not enjoy the experience of working with an indie press at all. They were like really small and didn't know what they were doing. And like my whole philosophy around publishing is like, I can do bad all by myself. That's why I indie publish. I'm like, I can suck at this just as hard as I can, like all by myself. Somebody else.
I don't have to pay anybody to do that.
I don't need to give anybody 90% of my earnings when they're,
90%. Oh my God.
I mean, that's like standard traditional publishing.
Fun. This is why.
Royalty. Book royalty rate.
Yeah.
And so then I ended up like publishing one book a year from like 2015 to 2020, or 4 books in those 5 years. But like, again, wasn't really doing anything with them, and just like didn't just put them out. And then like, remember it was like one random month, just like I hadn't put anything out in a while. I earned like $500 off of like just in my KDP dashboard. And I was like, oh, like I was already earning so little where I was living in Berlin. And I was like, this is kind of interesting. Like maybe if I just tried a little bit, I could like earn like the same salary that I have now, basically, which didn't feel like
some money.
That much more than $500 a month. And 2020, I was gonna go down to 50% at my job, but I forgot that in Germany, if you quit your job, you still get unemployment, and you get like you get 60% of your pay. So I was like, I could work 50% of the time for 50% of my pay, or quit my job and then get 60% of my pay. And
life hacks.
That sounds
Germany.
nice.
I know, my boss was literally like, what are you, like, nobody does 50%.
Like you should not do this.
No.
And so I quit my job, and then 2020 happened, and that we all plunged deep into COVID. But I think that actually helped, sadly, my book career, probably because I was able to like rapid release the first 3 books in the Very Mate series. And those books did pretty well. And then I republished those first books that I ever published, redrafted and published Population and what was then called Saltlands into Lord of Population.
Okay.
Which I then released later.
How many, you have so many books. How many books have you published?
I think like, The Very Mates is like 11 books by itself, or like 10 books in a little novella. And then Lord of Population is 3. And then I have 2 books that I never talk about, which are The Hunting Town and The Hunted Rise, because they're supposed to be a trilogy, and I just don't think I'm ever going to finish it.
You're like, I'm not going to promote it because I'm never going to finish it.
By the way, like this is exactly what I would do. I would be like, no.
Yeah. And then, Superheroes Need PR. Bone King and the Starling, Beast of Gatamora is 2. So that's 4, 5, 6,
million is
7, 8, 9 plus 11 is 20. Oh man. Am I at 20?
I don't know. Are you?
I keep telling people
so impressive.
I keep telling people I've published 12 books because I think
it's definitely more than that.
Well, damn.
I remember I came across The Bone King and the Starling because it popped up on my feed at one point, and the cover, beautiful.
I know.
So good. So good.
Oh my gosh.
I do feel like I judge books by their cover. Just so we're 100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sorry Draws did like an incredible job. It's really funny though, because she and I were like fighting about that cover because I like really wanted it to be full body. Like I felt like clinch covers all have like, you can see the bottom of the dress. Like, somehow in a clinch cover, you can see the bottom of the dress. And she was like, I refuse to do the bottom of the dress because I want people to see their faces. And I was like, give me the bottom of the dress. And then we ended up in this like 3/4 situation, which actually ended up working really wonderfully.
It's so great. And I love a redhead. I love a red
She
hen.
really does.
So like the flowing and then the chin grab and the it's so good.
I know. I don't think I've ever done a red-haired MMC before, and I couldn't figure out why not. Because I've done blonde MMCs before, and like my instinct for Viking is to go blonde. But then I was like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of
you gotta
blondes.
go red.
Yeah. So let's do redhead.
100%. Well, good choice. Okay. Tell us a little bit about I'm very excited about this. Okay. I've already got my reminder set to order for the Kickstarter for After the End. So tell us a little bit about that and how you're like, oh yeah, I do that too.
I like, nobody ever asked me about that. So it's fun.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited about it. I immediately hopped on the newsletter whenever everybody first posted about it. And I am still can't decide if I'm going to do the paperback or the hardback, but I have a little bit of time to figure it out. But I'm very excited about it. So tell us a little bit about that, how that came about.
Yeah, that's like such a funny story because I was, spoiler alert, invited to another big Kickstarter that I like
that we don't know about yet,
that I haven't announced yet, but that you would have probably heard of. And I was like really, really, really excited about it and like couldn't even believe it. And then like 2 months later, like Adriana Herrera like came into my messages. I was literally about to delete the message until I saw who it was from because I thought it was spam. It was like, hey, we're gonna work on a project together, and I was like, delete.
You're like, no.
Wait a second. It's like, okay, yeah, let's chat about this. And then ended up getting on a call with like this super prolific group of authors, and again couldn't even believe I'd been invited. And we started chatting about they wanted to do something dystopian, just like short novellas, like less than 50,000 words. And I was like, I can definitely do that, mainly because I've already got something that is at like 75% written.
Boom, ready.
I'm like really deep into my Fallout era. And so I managed to convince the group to make it like bunkers, like to bring the theme together by everybody having like a bunker as their origin story in their novel. I am so into Fallout. I cannot wait for the next season. So I, for that little collection, wrote as the Very Mates spinoff from Taken by the Picosa Warlord, because that is one of my favorite books in the series, and it's like a complete standalone and can be read at any point, but it takes place in like a very post-apocalyptic Earth where there's like absolutely nothing left, and like water is the ultimate resource. And the little short that I did for this though is really fun because I've done like a himbo before, but I've never done like a proper moron like girl named female character. And she's like was selected for the project because she was supposed to be like the arts and culture like person to like bring all of that back like from the past into the present. So she's just this artist, and she wakes up by herself and has to figure out how to survive, but like literally doesn't know how to use any of the machines, doesn't know anything about like biology or the landscape, and ends up being like a monster romance because she's like, oh, what's that like shiny thing off in the distance? Maybe I should like try to reach out to it. And then finds out it's like a caravan of monsters and she's overtaken by them. And obviously there's like a massive miscommunication because they literally don't speak the same language, and it's just really fun. I had a lot of fun. It's like, I think it's maybe the funniest. I don't really think I do funny very well, but like I try really hard. So like all superheroes need PR. Like I really wanted to be funny, but this one I actually think it's hilarious just because that main female character is so ridiculous.
I am so excited. I feel like superhero. I mean, I'm early into superheroes and APR, but I feel like it's very it gives very like physical comedy.
I know. That's what I got yelled at the other day by an editor. They were like, you do too much slapstick. I'm like, I think slapstick's hilarious.
Yeah. Like, but you can picture it happening in your mind. So like, I don't know, it works. Okay, how you're so prolific. We obviously have established that. How do you decide what you're going to write next? Or are you writing like 12 different things and then you are like, this one is going to be next. Let me stick with it.
Well, as of like, whatchamacallit, as of last year, or I guess the end of 2023, that's when I started to get like a bunch of contract work in. So, yeah, like a couple of Kickstarters, and then, the 2-book deal that I did with Montlake. And so then everything became kind of like just contract driven, which I actually really like because I work much better on a deadline than I do when it's just like
keeps you focused.
Oh my God. I would just like to say, as another self-employed person, I just had this conversation with a friend. Like, I like what I do because like I do influencer work, and so like I have campaign deadlines, and I'm like, if it was all left to me, I don't know that I would get things done. Like,
yeah,
I have to
it's
have
rough.
things. I have to have people tell me that something is due.
Yeah.
If not, I have to make up an arbitrary date and tell myself that it's due. Because...
I know. And even that arbitrary date, I'm like, because I know it's not real.
Yeah, like that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it doesn't help me. So
I'm like, here's this date, but if I miss it, nothing's gonna happen. So
I know, and I'm currently done with all of my contracts, and so I have a couple things out like on submission. So before any new contracts hopefully come in, I'm trying to finish like hopefully by the end of the year. My goal is to try to finish, or maybe by like Q1 next year, but I would really like to finish the population series because that one's one that I do want to finish. It's just like the world is kind of depressing right now, and that's easily my most depressing like universe.
This is why I'm a
so you're like,
because like I have to have an
escape. Circle back.
No, I mean, I'm just serious. Like in general, like I think that's why books are so wonderful, but also like why people like things like Taylor Swift or like reality shows, because it's like the world is a lot.
Yeah.
And like we live in Texas, okay? It's a lot here too.
It's not good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't imagine.
I mean, no, this is a safe space. Texas is a shithole.
Yeah. It's not good. How do you write when it is, when the world itself is depressing? How do you go into like a depressing world that you said, because population's like your most depressing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of why I've been leaning funnier these days, is because it's like kind of fun to bring like a comedic element into a post-apocalyptic situation. Like that's also what I actually really enjoyed about watching Fallout, because it's funny, but it's the apocalypse, and you're like, how do those two things go together? And I realized that it could be done. I was like, oh, why not make things funny? Like, but yeah, with population, I mean, that one's also, again, kind of lucky because the female character I'm working with in the fourth book in the series, which is going to be a novella. She's like also like more lighthearted and kind of like snarky and just like takes a piss. So it's easier to work with. But yeah, I'm kind of like dreading working on the last book a little bit just because it's really dark, and I don't know. I might rejig my schedule depending on what comes up. So yeah,
I feel like for both of you, just like as authors, that must be so hard if you have to write, like even in a romance, sometimes I feel like there are darker like subplots to it. Like for example, what I'm reading right now. And I just feel like as an author, that must be so difficult to like compartmentalize that versus like them turning on the news or getting on social media. And it's like so much. So much.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think that's also why like The Bone King and the Starling was so fun, because it is like a depressing universe. And so then like having this like like the most extreme like touch her and die kind of situation, and like it just felt like a rectification that like I kind of needed in in my real world. And I could write that in because I control the universe.
taking that can be kind of fun though, is taking something that's really difficult and adding levity to it. Like, okay, how do we, that's how I cope, is with humor. And so it's like, how do you bring that into your character or the situation in general? But okay, what has, or how, because you've been writing so long, kind of before Book Talk and Bookstagram became a thing. So how has that kind of changed things for you? Or do you feel like it's maybe the way you've changed the way you've done some things because of the existence of Book Talk, Bookstagram? What has that kind of been like for you?
Well, I definitely capitalized on, like, I was early-ish on Book Talk when that was a thing.
Yeah.
And I think just because it came out, like, the bookish community kind of really rose up in 2020 and 2021 on TikTok, and being able to capitalize on that was pretty huge. Yeah, it was like, I mean, I had like, it was like a $13,000 month, like
Damn.
early 2021 or something, from a single TikTok post for like book 6 in my Zaveri Mate series, which was like really wild. It was like that book, I think it earned like 3 times as much in that single month as it has over the rest of its entire
That's
lifetime.
crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And so it was just like, I think definitely, getting into the hands of more readers was super helpful. But I will say that I think something I learned kind of early on is like not to depend on social media. And also social media doesn't move things as much as, I think for some authors, it's like their entire marketing strategy and they're really good at it. And like it moves all of their books. I know other authors that are like on TikTok Shop and stuff, which I'm not yet because I just don't have
it's overwhelming
bandwidth for TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
Like generating like $40,000 a month every month just in revenue from, it's crazy.
I'm like, that sounds amazing, but I'm like, I don't know how y'all are doing that.
I mean, even if like I generated that much, I couldn't take that many books to the post office. So like, I just can't. Yeah,
I can't. I cannot physically get that many books out.
Yeah, I can't package that kind of inventory. And so for me, it's kind of like it's helped. When the time is right and things come together, it's like a good thing to use and to capitalize on, but it's definitely not like the backbone of my like whole marketing strategy. I mean, marketing in the bookish world, you have to be like constantly evolving and just like finding stuff that works for you and cutting the stuff that doesn't, because you're just, at the end of the day, most of us are just like one person just trying to scream about our own books and hope that
while the world is burning.
Yeah, while the world is burning.
Yeah. Like, hi, read this. Okay. Any advice for aspiring authors?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that my biggest piece of advice for aspiring authors, like my actual real advice, because like most people are like, don't stop writing, or like never give up. My real advice is like,
never give up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, actually, and I tell this to all of like the, romance authors that I talk to, but it depends on what genre you're writing. But I really do think that releasing as rapidly as you can in the very beginning is super duper beneficial. So even holding, like if you have the idea for a series, hold it as long as you can, and try to release a book like it used to be every 1 month, but like 1 or 2 months really is like super duper helpful. For me, I know that if I was like going into it with like a plan, like I'm going to release 3 books, and then if it doesn't work out, I'm going to go back to working regularly. And then when it did start to work out, like by book 2, I was like generating on average like $1,000 a month. I was like, oh, okay, wow, like maybe I can, really see this as a career. But then I had not written books 4, 5, and 6 yet, and so there was a big gap, like a 6-month gap between book 3 and book 4, and it dramatically, I really think that my sales would have had there would have been a dramatic compounding effect if I'd managed to get the whole series out at once. And then the other piece of advice I have is basically just Nick Eric is like the person I learned everything I currently know now from marketing. It's nicholaseric.com, I think, but he runs these like,
let me write this down.
Yeah, he has like a bunch of marketing courses, but I just took one. It was like the one that I could afford and have the time for, which was like this 30-minute a day marketing crash course for a month. So you just do like 30-minute exercises a day and like listen to like maybe some little podcasty thingy that he has. But he has he's just a genius, and he runs like these massive like $50,000 ad budget, like monthly ad budgets for like these super big 7-figure authors. So I could never afford him, but he gives you like really practical advice on how to scale and get bigger and better, and how to stack your promos. And he offers like a free promo website, which I use literally to this day every single time I have a release. And the number one thing I learned from him or the 2 big things I learned from him was, 1, set a goal. So like, what is your actual goal as an author? And for some authors, like I've talked to author friends, they're like, I want to see my book in bookstores. And it's like, okay, cool. That's a goal. But also like making the USA Today bestseller list is also a goal, and making $50,000 a month is also a goal. But you can't have all of those as the same goal. And so I realized for me, like my main goal was just to be able to support myself and like my family and pay my bills. And so once you like get out of that, you like immediately stop doing all of the things that aren't profitable and aren't driven to your goal. And that means you're not doing so much less work. Cause like, if I had it on my goal to be on the USA Today bestseller list every single time I dropped a book, like that would be an enormous amount of work and would not, like profitability wise, probably wouldn't help me that much. And so, so that was super duper important for me. Cause then I had like, again, an author friend whose goal was to be in bookstores. And then after their first month, they were really disappointed in sales. And I'm like, yeah, but your goal wasn't to sell.
That wasn't your goal. Yeah.
It was to be in bookstores, which you were, and you had like a tour and like things went really well. But maybe not the most sales because bookstores don't buy that many books. You know, they buy a couple of books at a time. And then he said, what is it? He said, who was this? He's like, try 3 marketing things at a time because that's probably all you can handle. And then of those, like pick the 1 or the 2 that you are A, good at, and B, enjoy. And that for me was really helpful because I cut out Facebook ads really early on because I was like, I don't enjoy these and I can't figure them out and they don't work. I did the same for Amazon ads like a year later. And so now I'm just like doing the marketing stuff that I like actually can do with my like capacity and intelligence and and then like, you know, social media and stuff, which I actually enjoy because he's like, are you guys like wasting all this time on Instagram? For those of you who don't enjoy it, like you're never going to do well at something that you don't want to be
if you don't like it.
I think it's really hard to try to do all the things. Like I feel like you see people and they're doing it all, and even as a content creator, like I've had this conversation, it's like they have a lot of help behind the scenes. Like people that you think are doing all the things are not doing all the things alone. And I feel like it gives a really false perception for what these different worlds look like. Just I feel like people should be more transparent when they have help doing these things.
Totally.
Oh yeah, I know. I'll tell everyone like I have a new PA now, Meg, and she does like so much stuff. It's crazy, like the logistical stuff that she's managing for me behind the scenes, and I'm just like, there would be no way for me to get like half the stuff done.
Literally, I was texting some of my author friends this morning, like, hey, do you know anybody who does ads? Because that's the thing that I hate. It's so funny that you said really that hard. Though. But I was like, anybody, I want to offload this. I don't want to have to do it. And I feel like it's good to do that, to recognize your strengths, and ads are never going to be mine. So
having author friends is probably another thing I'd suggest to other authors. I joined like Lee Savino is like this amazing author who shares a lot of her wisdom. She's like 7 figures now and just doing all badass stuff. And she like runs a Facebook group called Millionaire Author Mastermind, and
I love it.
I'm obsessed with it. It's great because you get to just pop in and be like, hey, anybody know like a German translator? Anybody know like what's wrong with this blurb that I wrote? Like what's just like super helpful, practical, tactical stuff. Because I tried to join a couple other groups like 20 books to 50K or something like that. And some of them I just like are like going wide resource groups, and I just like can't figure out like
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And like I try to ask questions and like I get shut down because it's like, no, that's in the guidebook, and I'm like, I can't figure out how to
I can't go through the guidebook. Like I don't have time for that. Okay, just answer my question, please.
It's simple. So
dead.
No shade to them. I just couldn't figure it out.
No, listen, and that works for some people. Some people are like, just give me the guidebook and I want to read through it on my own and do it. And like, that's great. I don't operate that way. I'm like, I gotta talk about it. Okay. The last question we always ask is, what is a have to read book that you are always recommending?
Oh, I have one. It's Sucker by Natalie Ashea. Sucker was like my top read of 2024, and I'm still like searching for another book exactly like it, because it's a Black workplace romance. The FMC has like a crazy, funny, like interesting fetish, which I won't even get into because I've never read a book with that fetish before. And then the like MMC is like the, you know, dark brooding hero, but he's also like a translator. And so for me, it was like, as like a third culture kid who like grew up all over the place, it was so fun having like a linguist as like the main character, but it was also just the banter between the two of them. And
I love banter.
I love banter. And I'm looking for one. I got some recommendations on Threads, but I'm looking for like Black contemporary romances that have like a enemies, you know, rivals, whatever, hate to love vibes. Because that's obviously my favorite. And this one does that like perfectly.
Oof. Okay, good recommendation. I like that. Okay, we end the podcast on a rapid fire this or that. Are you ready? Just first thing off the top of your head.
Yes.
All right. I'll go first, Neely, if you're good. Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Aliens or superheroes?
Aliens.
Love it.
Fantasy or historical? I think I know the answer.
Fantasy.
Okay. I also know the answer to this one, I think. Enemies to lovers or forbidden romance?
Enemies to lovers.
Okay.
All right. And this one is a pick your praise. Good girl or look at me?
Good girl.
Neely, you're on a roll.
2 in a row.
Yeah. Wow, that's fine that you didn't pick look at me, but
we go through phases.
We do. There'll be a lot of good girls this season, I guess.
A lot of good girls.
Yeah. Okay, Elizabeth, whore yourself out. Where can people find you?
Oh yeah, booksbyelizabeth.com is my website. And I'm on the social medias at E. Stevens or Elizabeth Stevens author. So yeah, you can find me there. Oh, and I have a Patreon, which gets all the free stuff and like free books and paperbacks and stuff. So
fun. That's another thing where I feel like I see a lot of authors do that, and I'm like, that my brain hurts.
It took me like 2 years of being like, you're gonna start a Patreon before I actually did it. And I think like waiting that extra time actually was like really helpful.
Yeah. It's just that you got to wrap your mind around some things first before you let it happen. Okay, you can find us at Smut Show Podcast on Instagram and TikTok and all the things. And you can find me everywhere at Rachel_M Lewis.
And you can find me everywhere at Neelykins, except TikTok, where I'm Neely Moldovan. And guys, we love 5-star reviews. So it would be great if you could leave one for the podcast. We will send you happy mail if we read out loud and you DM us. So please rate and review. It really helps and means the world to us. And Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming on. We loved chatting with you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Bye.
Totally appreciate it.